Bonnie, and the butter holder is back today with another pastry video. I have been on a matcha craze lately and I haven't had breakfast yet, so I figured this would be the perfect thing to make. Japanese souffle pancakes. And of course it is another recipe from Just One Cookbook, and I've heard that it's pretty easy to make, so I got my fingers crossed here. And of course I had to add a little twist to it. They will be matcha flavored. So let's get started. So I will be starting off making the whipped cream first, just because it's nicer or more solid when it's chilled. So pretty easy. I got half a cup of heavy cream and 1.5 tablespoons of some sugar, and we're just gonna whip it with my little hand mixer. Okay, we got our whipped cream. Pretty easy, and I'm just gonna stick this in the fridge and get started on the pancake batter. Onto the actual cake batter. We're starting off with 2 eggs, and what she kind of tells us to do is to separate them and then put the egg whites in the freezer for 15 minutes. And that is, as she explains, is because that way the egg whites will be stiffer and easier to kind of whip up. So we will separate some eggs. If you're wondering, I do have a ginormously big bowl for very little egg whites, but I am gonna go throw this in the freezer right now while I make the rest. Now I got just my egg yolks, and basically you just mix everything in. So I got my 2 tablespoons of milk, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, and we're just gonna mix. So before we add in the cake flour, I don't actually have cake flour, so I figured it would be helpful to show you guys how I'm making the homemade cake flour. She also has a recipe for this in her blog, but basically you take out 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and replace it with some cornstarch. But since this is 1/4 cup, I will just be taking out around half of a tablespoon, and again I'm just eyeballing as per usual and placing it with some cake flour. I mean cornstarch. Cake flour! And then also, because we're adding some matcha in there, she says to take out 1 teaspoon of this cake flour to be replaced with matcha. There we go. And so now we're just gonna add this in. And this is the matcha powder that I'm using today. It is specifically for culinary. Well, it says culinary quality. And I was able to get this off of Amazon, so it was pretty easy to get my hands on. But yeah, let's add it in. So I have my egg white here. It's a little frosty, and I will just be adding 2 tablespoons of sugar. I accidentally added 2 tablespoons to my matcha batter, so it might be a little sweeter than intended, but hopefully it'll be okay. I added my sugar, and now I just gotta whip them up. Okay, I am tired and I think The egg whites are good. So now I just need to mix them into this matcha batter. That really might be a little too sweet. So I'm just gonna take some and transfer it into this bowl. I am just gonna fold in some of this egg white. She tells you to mix it, but I don't wanna risk it because I feel like I didn't beat this enough. Am I folding this correctly? I don't know, but it's fine. And now I will add it all into the egg whites. So you can tell my batter is still relatively fluffy, and now all we gotta do is cook it. So I think this is relatively simple, but one of the more difficult parts. Basically, I have oiled my pan a little bit, heated up at like low, medium, low, high, and we're just gonna spoon some batter on and see how it goes. So I got my pancakes, and one thing she suggests before you kind of close the lid is to add some water. And to close it for around 6 minutes while it kind of cooks, and then we can add more scoops in while this happens. Be careful of the water because it just can get into your batter, and I'm just adding more scoops. It says you want to go high, not wide, so that is what I'm trying to do. So it's been six-ish minutes, and I'm just gonna add the last bit of batter. So now we're gonna flip this. Hopefully it go. Nope. Thought it would go well, but it's not. Okay, these look scary. Okay. They're no longer circular, but maybe they'll still taste delicious. So they definitely don't look the best, but I think they should still taste good. So I have one pancake, 2 pancakes. So this was definitely a fail. They look so sad and ugly. But they are all baked through, and I mean, they rose, like they're a little fluffy. They're pretty fluffy. But definitely some mishaps here. But we're gonna try to save this because I have some whipped cream, so let's try. I have some whipped cream, my matcha, and some confectioner sugar. So let's just try to save this. So just gonna. And I will add some color with some matcha. Here is my attempt at saving these matcha pancakes. They look a little better now that they have something on top. And I'm sure they're fluffy, so let's give it a try. Okay. Honestly, it tastes pretty good. It just looks terrible. And definitely you want to make sure the inside is cooked. It kind of looks a little bit like cake. But it tastes great. It tastes like a fluffy pancake. You can taste little hints of matcha in there. But overall, pretty yummy. Yeah, I mean, it's not half bad. It's not as bad as it looks. But I definitely wanted to show this fail. Definitely wanted to show this failed pancake video because so many do's and don'ts lessons from this morning. But like overall it tastes great, and the only hard part to do is the cooking part. Otherwise it's super easy, and you should definitely try this out. Now, extra part of this video, I have so much heavy cream left over and I need a drink with my pancakes. So I am just going to make matcha dalgona. Just mix in some matcha. And I have my matcha dalgona cream. Well, there you have it, my very matcha breakfast, my pretty delicious looking matcha dalgona, and my delicious but ugly looking soufflé pancakes, or matcha soufflé pancakes. Hopefully your soufflé pancakes turn out better than mine. I did have my fingers crossed for this one, and again, I am just a mere butter holder. But this was definitely a really fun recipe to try and pretty quick and easy to whip up if you cook it accurately. But yeah, this was great and I can't wait to have my matcha breakfast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below how your soufflé pancakes go, or you know, if you could give me some tips on what I did wrong other than the ones that I've mentioned. And yeah, thanks for watching.